No. Lucy, Councillor Brown. David. Councillor Bolton. Yes.
I'm here.
Councillor Burns.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, see Rosemary. Hello. Peter Castle. Yes.
Yeah.
James Famikin. Not yet. Angela.
Here.
Yeah. Lucy Martin.
Yep, here.
Hello.
Hello.
Kim. Yes.
Hello.
Councillor Smith. Not yet. Stephen. Councillor Swallow.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Liz.
Hello.
And Councillor Thomas.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, welcome everybody. Apologies for absence. Do we have any?
No.
Okay. Right, the minutes of the meeting of Wednesday the 9th of December, please. Can we check those for accuracy? Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. And page 4. Is it your wish that I sign those as a true record at an appropriate time?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Item 4 then, declarations of interest and request for dispensations. Do we have any? No. Item 5 then, public participation time. We do have a question from Dave Heddy, which I can read out to you, and it says, please can I ask if there are any plans to tarmac the car park for Folly Park? It really is a disgrace and has been for some years. And he sends a photograph. Also, where are we regarding the footpath link from Folly Park to Henry Blake Way Retail Park, Oldie Waitrose Travel Lodge, which was in the plans for the site? And he puts a PS to Sally, did you hear from CBRE regarding Lloyds Bank damaged window? They haven't been back to him. So I think Sally has been in contact with Dave. Do you want to make a comment, Sally, to say what you said?
Yeah, I did circulate the email just to say that Bethia and I had been to the park yesterday. Councillor Thomas, I think, has got a hand up, so she might want to fill in on that.
Okay, thank you, Bethia.
Yeah, as Sally and I saw yesterday, the car park is in a mess, and it's been made worse recently because somebody, and we're not quite sure who, has filled some of the potholes with rubble, which is causing more of a problem. We investigated who owns it, and it's one of these difficult things that hasn't actually been adopted yet, as far as I understand. So it's a no man's land between the district council and the developer, which has been delayed for a long time now, and caught up in legal loops. But last year we were sort of working towards a solution to that. At the moment, we can either close the car park or put signs up because it actually is hazardous, I think. So I'm in discussion with property about that. I was not aware of the footpath that's mentioned in that, so I've also inquired with that, and I'm not sure if it was in relation to county as well. So Judy might have a word on that. She's got a hand up.
Thank you. Judith?
You mentioned, I think, the Aldi and the road and the makeup there. Can I say that is being dealt with? I have kept Sally advised, and yourself, Councillor Wise, that there were some legal problems, and those legal problems, it was to do with the developer, and those legal problems have been sorted, so it's now the work will be done.
Okay, thank you. We just had a comment. Who's CT? Is that someone flagged up a comment then?
I put something in the chat to say
Sorry,
that
that's
I
you,
can
that's
follow
you,
it up.
Becky. I'm with
Yeah,
it.
I can follow it up if you need to. Yep. I will be doing that.
Councillor, I did just registered. Sorry, now I'm a bit slow. Okay, thank you very much for that. Should we move on then? Item 6 then, reports from outside bodies, and that's to receive and consider reports to include Thames Valley Police. Unfortunately, we can't have a report from the police because Constable Goodenough is not well and is shielding. We also know that he's retiring from the force in 3 weeks, but he's got a medical problem, so he's not been able to produce a report. We don't have any other reports from outside bodies, so we move on to item 7, which is County Council's report, and that's Councillor Heathcote.
Thank you very much. Can I start by wishing I know I wish some of you before the meeting started a Happy New Year, but now that you're all present, can I say a Happy New Year to you all? And I do hope that 2021 is less stressful than 2020 was. I give a monthly report, and within that monthly report, I put in community safety messages. And the reason I do that is because my cabinet portfolio is for community safety. It does include the regulatory services, which are the legal sections of the County Council. It also includes human resources. And obviously, safety messages affect everyone, parish councillors, town councillors, residents of the division. So that's why I put them in. And I hope that if you see a safety message that rings bells with you, it would be good if you could take the content on board. I started the report off by talking about scammers and how they're targeting residents. I can't believe that there are people who are so despicable that they take advantage of the vulnerable within our communities. They've been promising a coronavirus vaccine and saying there's a fee and taking money from these people. Please, please, the COVID vaccination, coronavirus vaccination is free of charge. Under NHS. So if you know of someone who has been caught like that, please let me know if you've got any information on who it was calling on them, and the trading standards people that I work with will see if they can take something on board. But I've given you advice there. Then I've put in the coronavirus vaccine process, which I think it is quite straightforward. If you want details, the NHS are in charge of this, and I've left you a website. Another safety message, which in itself is pretty obvious, but obviously some people don't take any notice of driving under the influence of alcohol or driving under the influence of drugs. And of course, if you have a road accident, a road traffic collision, an RTC, whilst under the influence of either of those, then you are in trouble legally. But also, the fire service have given a warning about house fires. We've had an awful lot of attendance by our firefighters to house fires because people are now lighting fires with it being colder and they haven't had the chimneys swept. The fire service do recommend that you have your chimneys swept prior to the autumn starting and at the end of the autumn, so that it gets too clean to make sure there's no substance within the chimneys. I have put in there a text that was in the media about my concerns about the road traffic collisions. I don't know that anyone ever thinks that if there's a fire or if there's a road traffic accident, it's our firefighters that are picking up body parts or dead people. And I think if you think they're part of our community, the firefighters, so please drive carefully and also take care of your homes. I've also put in there an item about the sale of knives to underage youths. This has happened, it does happen. And we have taken Swindon's store that are in Abingdon to the courts, the High Courts. We won the court case, and I've put again the quote that was in the press from me. Also, there's something to think about. We all of us have knives in our kitchens that can be dangerous if in the wrong hands. So can you just keep an eye on young people in the house and educate them into the fact that knives can kill and also cause dangerous injury. I put in again my message about the gift, Christmas and the New Year, by handing back healthcare equipment. Obviously, if you've had someone who's had the requirement for healthcare equipment due to surgery or an illness, an episode, when they're better, they no longer require the equipment. So if you could send it back, there's a note in there who you can contact. Obviously, that's saving the health service and the medical services monies, because often this equipment is hardly used. I've put in the item about the winter grant scheme, COVID-19 winter grant scheme, and it's Oxfordshire County Council, the City Council and the District Councils and voluntary community organisations that are receiving this. Oxfordshire Councils have received £1.37 million from the government for the winter grant scheme, and that's to help run local support schemes for those in greater need. I've also given you a COVID update for Tier 4, but I'm sure every one of us knows exactly what the restrictions or the links are for Tier 4. And I think that, Chairman, that gives you quite a detailed account of what my report contains.
Thank you very much. Can I say I thought the document sent out by the County Council about COVID was very good, Judith.
Thank you very much. I'll tell the officers that.
I think it's very clear, and I think it was a very well constructed document. Thank you. Any questions for Councillor Heathcote? If not, then can we note that report? Thank you. Next is District Council's report. Councillor Thomas, do you wish to say anything?
I was going to leave this to David because I think he's on the call today, this evening. David, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I am.
Hello, David.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you.
Hopefully you've all had a chance to read the January report that we sent around. So the one that is in the original agenda pack is from December. So there is a later one, which was, I think, circulated. If you haven't had time to read that through, I'm quite happy to go through it now.
They are both in there, David, on the latest issue. Yeah, I think there was.
Well, I'll just pull out a few points from the latest one then, of sort of the key things. So one thing to mention is that we've had for a while a sort of a councillor COVID emergency grant to be used to help out with community groups that need extra funding for COVID to help out our community. And we've so that totaled £4,000 between myself and Councillor Thomas. We identified with the latest lockdown there was a need with children being homeschooled for extra devices, so those children who don't have access to devices that they need to get online to do electronic learning can have that access. So we've given £3,000 of that grant towards the school's academy to help them buy some devices that they can then give to students who otherwise wouldn't be able to use those. So there is still some money left there, only a small amount left. So, but if you do know of any particular cases where that could be used for COVID emergency purposes, then it's there. Please do let us know. And then I'll just go down to draw your attention to the planning application for the volunteer inn to be turned into residential units. I'm sure it's one that will be discussed in depth at your Planning and Highways committee later in the month. I have had some sort of just initial discussions with the officers to talk about the viability report that's there, and they will be casting a critical eye over that, because obviously there are I think several new businesses opening up, which suggests that there could be a good viability for eating and drinking establishments despite the current circumstances. And then I think the other one to draw your attention to is the leisure funding. And this comes from, this is one of the, I think it was the Fernham Fields, or one of the ones on Coxwell Road, those estates where there was £200,000 worth of developer S106 contributions that were due to be spent at the Wessex Leisure Centre, so the multi-million-pound leisure centre over in Wantage. That is no longer going ahead, and so that money is potentially becoming available. And so there's a consultation planned to look at how that money can now be spent. So I think that's something that the council will be in touch with, the district council will be in touch with the town council. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Bethia, on that point.
It is, so there is a consultation open now. It's just literally come live over the last couple of days, and yes, we will be seeking out definitely the town council as one of the main stakeholders, us as ward councillors, and we're trying to identify a number of stakeholders that would be interested in these sort of funds that are coming back from the now defunct Wessex Leisure Centre. I did speak to Sally when we had a walk around yesterday, so we were starting to think about who could benefit, and recently there have been ideas that have just been coming into the town council. We have already discussed about lighting at the skate park, and another email came in recently about a all-terrain running track that's been suggested by the fire runners. So we're getting all of those groups together to and they will be consulted about what they think would be the best way to spend this money in Farringdon to benefit Farringdon's residents, and obviously those of Great Coxwell, because they may be affected as well. So I expect, well, I've just started getting a list together of those groups from both Farringdon and Great Coxwell, and I was going to forward that on to Sally to add any that she could think of, and Great Coxwell Parish Council we can also forward it on to, because obviously we don't have the expertise there. So I was going to forward it on to the parish council, parish clerk there. So hopefully that should be going ahead in the next couple of weeks.
And then a final thing to comment on, sort of along the same lines of developer contributions for infrastructure. We are in the process of changing our community infrastructure levy rules. Basically, there's a lot of unspent money because of the rules being a bit too tight, so they're being updated. And I think in the report, it's perhaps not quite clear. There is actually a consultation which can be, which is open for people to comment on as well at the moment. So that actually runs till, I think it's the 8th of February, whereas I think in the report it suggests that the changes are already made, but there is a consultation period.
Yes, thank you, David. We've been circulated about the consultation. Thank you. Councillor Bolton, I think you had your hand up first.
Yes, it's about the volunteer. I think we're going to have discussions about that, hopefully before the next planning meeting. Marsha suggested having a discussion on the which one was it? Strategic Working Party, but that meeting is actually after the next planning meeting, so I think we need a discussion before then about the viability, which is, I don't think they've been told the truth, to be quite honest.
Thank you, Jane. Peter.
Hi, yeah, curious. I know, David, you said that the county council, they use a councillor's grant to provide IT for families who couldn't afford it. The town council certainly have provided a grant to Farringdon Infant School for tablets for parents who couldn't afford it. There's a question to Judith. What have the county council, who actually are responsible for education, have done in that respect, please?
Thank you, Peter. David was talking about the district council and the grants from them, not the county council. And the county council have been delivering, in fact, the fire service were delivering many laptops to the schools, to families, for children where there was a need. So that has been rolled out by the county council and has delivered laptops.
Thank you.
Okay. The only other thing is perhaps we should, the three councils should sort of join up a little bit, because obviously we're all doing something separate. So perhaps there's a need to join up a little bit.
Yep. That's a good suggestion. Kim?
Yes, hi. I'll speak as my with my Farringdon Infant School governor hat on. We had a meeting earlier tonight, and the head explained that, I mean, I'm not sure where they came from, but they've obtained for the Academy Trust 10 laptops, of which the infant school has managed to snag 5 of them. But I have to be honest, coming from the head teacher, it seemed that her attitude's not the right word, but basically she was saying that rather than rely on these kind of ethereal hopes of laptops and tablets and things arriving, they're trying their best to say, oh, you've got an Xbox, well, that can work as a way to access the internet, and really to explain to parents, you know, or work with what they've got. So yeah, I mean, it didn't come across in the governor's meeting this evening that they have a plethora of laptops / tablets. I mean, she said they have 5 available from the tranche of 10 that were given to the Academy. So I mean, I just don't know how, you know, where that, you know, where that's kind of going or coming from, you know, to more tangible, that £3,000 that David mentioned, you know, what is that, the 10? I don't know. So that's all. I just wanted to make a comment.
Okay, Matthew.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yes, we have paid for 10 laptops, so that's probably what they're talking about. And I know that in discussions we went straight to the Academy because we didn't want to favour any one of the 3 schools, and we thought that the Academy would be best placed to allocate any devices that we were managed to purchase for them. And the timing was very tight because we wanted to get them out quickly. So I think we started talking last Monday, and they should be getting them tomorrow. But yeah, Sally was, of the 3 head teachers in Farringdon, she was actually the one who was most involved in the conversations, because not only does she know about the issues with Farringdon Infant School, she knows about the issues with the siblings in older schools, so the junior school and FCC. So I think she was consulted, and I mean, obviously I don't know the what you were speaking about specifically about Xboxes and things, but I know they've been consulting quite widely with different people in the community who have IT expertise. There's been lots of conversations on Facebook, and I know various governors and staff at the Academy have been consulting with the community and IT expertise in the community. So I think they're fairly sort of knowledgeable now about what is needed and what's required.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess my point would be that obviously they're still struggling. She did make mention that, you know, the laptops were prioritized for the families with the most need, and families that had children perhaps, you know, at the junior school, at the college, and perhaps at the, you know, so that multiple children could have access to the one laptop. But she also had mentioned that there were talk of donated laptops, but that the IT, they have no facility for, well, they have a facility, they're just swamped apparently, to wipe them. So, you know, if laptops are being donated, they've not got the time at the minute to kind of wipe them clear to make sure that they're safe to pass on.
I think that's why Raoul, I think a lot of people are familiar with Raoul Eindhoven. He runs an IT company in Farringdon, and he has been offering his services to anybody who was kind enough to donate a laptop to the academy, that they could he could wipe it and make sure it's all okay and work with the academy staff there. I also know that in conversation with academy staff that if there are people who do have laptops, it's actually better if they providing that the right safeguarding is there, that they directly donate a computer to maybe a neighbour or who is in need of one, because then they don't have to go to the academy standards in the same way. So that was another point that was made, but it has been discussed quite widely, I believe.
I'll make sure Sally knows about Raoul's offer, because that certainly wasn't mentioned in on the meeting earlier tonight.
I definitely think that I know that the academy knows about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it probably will filter down.
Okay, thank you. Peter, do you still want to say something?
Yes, I know that, and Sally will correct me if I'm wrong, I think we made a grant for 5 tablets, I believe, to Farringdon Infant School. District Council obviously have made money available for so many laptops. Julie, is there any chance you could get the information of how many laptops, tablets you've supplied to places in Farringdon, so the town council can actually have an idea of where they're going? That would be useful.
They have gone to families that are in need, and I will find out the number from CEF, Children, Education and Families, for you and come back to you. But they have gone to the children of families that we have on our list that were vulnerable and were in need.
Yeah, Martin makes
lovely,
the point,
thank you.
Peter. It was for the junior school. We provided some Chromebooks for the junior school. Yeah. Okay. Anything else on that? Let's move on then to Chairman's activity report. I've had no activities since our last meeting, apart from sending out lots of Christmas cards to people. And I'm glad to say we did receive our annual Christmas card from the Communauté de Communes de la Vallée de la Haute-Sarthe from Monsieur Christophe de Ballot, thanking us as ever, and it was very nice to receive. So I did also send cards out to the mayors of Lamel, has just changed as well, and to Falkenstein or Königstein, to Helm, to our friend there. Yeah, Bethia. You're on mute, Bethia.
Sorry. On New Year's Eve, we had a Zoom call with some of the
Oh yeah,
residents of Lamel. Were you in that?
I was. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I couldn't remember if you were or not, but that was nice to wish them Happy New Year and sing Auld Lang Syne, which they really didn't understand, I don't think.
It was very interesting to listen to them, but they didn't want to take the vaccine. They were very reluctant, weren't they? Very suspicious, unlike our attitudes. Yeah, but it was nice to talk to people in France, because it was on New Year's Eve, just before the official Brexit meeting. Okay, item 10 then, reports from committees, and that's to note minutes and reports from First Facilities Committee of the 16th of December. Has everybody seen that? I've got a very detailed set of minutes. Any questions on that? No? Can we note that then, please? And the next is from Finance and Audit Committee. Anything to say on that, Steve?
Peter's got his hand up. Mike,
Obviously, most of it was
Peter?
a review of the budget and a recommendation. Sorry, am I muted?
No, you're okay. You're okay, Steve.
Right. So yes, most of the meeting dealt with the budget, which obviously is coming on later this evening. So I won't preempt that. I will point out that we did agree to iPads from the unspent budget line for the website maintenance for this year. So those are in the pipeline.
Thank you, Steve. Can we note that report then? Thank you. And finally, minutes of the Planning and Highways Committee meeting of the 23rd of December. Jane, do you want to add anything?
No. Anybody got any questions? Comments?
No, thank you very much. We'll note that. So next item is Clerk's report and schedule of payments. And also to note the Clerk's activity report, which is on there. Now, we need to approve the schedule of payments, which is totaling £34,648.37. Any questions on that first? Okay, can I propose that we pay those invoices? Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Angela. All those in favour, please indicate. Thank you. Is anybody against? No, thank you very much. And we also note the Clerk's activity report. Do you want to say anything on that, Sally?
Nothing to add.
Thank you very much. Next is item 12, which is the precept, and that's to receive and consider the draft budget and precept request for 21-22 as recommended by the Finance and Audit Committee held on 17th December 2020. First, we need to propose, agree the budget, and we are proposing a budget of £435,577. And that represents a council tax fund on the Band D for £142.34, an increase of £1.56. So can I propose that we accept the budget of £435,577 for 21-22? Can I have a seconder, please?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you, Peter. Can I have a vote on that, please? Do you want a formal vote, Sally, or is hands okay?
If people use the hands up button, that would be perfect.
Thank you. All those in favour of that? Thank you. Is anybody against? Thank you. That's carried non-con. And that leaves us then that we propose to request a precept of £435,577, which equating to a Band D property of £142.34, which was, I think, an increase of 1.56%. Can I have a proposer for that, please? Sorry, thank you, Peter. Can I have a seconder, please? I can't see anybody.
I can.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Can all those in favour then, please? Okay. Anybody against? Thank you. That's accepted. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for everybody for all the hard work you did on putting those budgets together. It's very difficult. Thank you very much, Steve. I think that's a very sensible budget this year, and taking the money out of reserves for those capital items. I think it shows that we're not profligate. We have a modest increase, and that we're using our reserves wisely. Thank you, Bethia, for that. Item.
Councillor.
Sorry, I can't see anything because everybody's got.
Councillor Brown has his hand up. I don't know if that's a legacy hand or if he wants to ask a question.
Hello.
No, it was fine, Sally. It was I was voting. I thought I was voting.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
No one wants to say anything. Thank you, David. So moving on then to item 13, and that's to appoint members to fill a vacancy on the following town council committees. You notice Sally sent a list of committee membership to us. And if you look down, we have vacancies on finance and audit, and also on facilities, and that's due to the resignation of Councillor Julie Farmer. So does anybody want to take the place on finance and audit? Betty's got a thing about sharing, Sally. We've got the spreadsheet. We can't see each other's faces. Thank you. Right, so finance. Does anybody want to volunteer for the vacancy on finance? It's important because we definitely need to be quorate for finance, because a quorum for finance is 5 people, unlike most other committees where it's only 3. And we could be hard pressed otherwise.
Peter has his hand up, Mike.
Peter?
Yeah, I was just going to suggest, sorry, Dave, I do apologise, but as you're a new member, not on any committees, I wondered if you could take these vacancies on.
Well, I was interested in
you. I just thought that'd be a sensible thing to do.
I was interested in facilities, Peter.
Yeah. How about finance? It's exciting.
I failed all my maths exams at school. Might not be the best idea.
Oh, come on. Live life dangerously. Anyway, my suggestion is Dave takes some of them on. It's up to him which ones he wants to do. Okay.
Okay. So, is anybody serious about doing finance? We do need a replacement for Julie for that one.
I can do finance. I mean, I do have a master's in business administration.
Oh, really? That would be very useful. Just to slip that in. Thank you. Yes,
don't let my secrets out, but yes, that is fine. I just worry, of course. I mean, it's really handy with Zoom, but you know how it is with trying to arrange childcare normally and being a single mother. So yes, that's fine. I try not to take on too many things, but that's fine. Since it's still Zooming, I'm sure I can add it in.
Thank you. I think the Masters in Business Administration, I think you just passed the audition for that.
I'm so glad that my years of secondary education are worth something.
Contribution there. Okay, so can I propose that Kim is a member of the Finance and Audit Committee? Can I get a seconder for that, please?
Councillor Swallow also has her hand up. I don't know if she's interested in finance or if she's seconding.
Hello. So yes, I'm definitely seconding Kim. I think she'd be brilliant for the post. I just wanted to suggest, just for note, that when we do go back to normal and we're back meeting, can we have it hybrid so that people can still be at home for childcare reasons if necessary? Would that be a possibility? Just to make a note of that.
I agree with that entirely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good point, Liz. Thank you thank you.
I'll definitely second Kim. So that's me done.
Thank you. All in favour of Kim being a member of the Finance Committee then? Thank you. Anybody against? No, thank you very much. Now that's facilities. Now, David, you did express an interest in facilities.
Yeah.
Is anybody else interested? Right, can I propose that Councillor David Brown then is elected to the vacancy in the Facilities Committee? And seconder, please. Thank you, Peter.
Second.
All those in favour? Thank you very much. That's passed then. I think that's full. Is that full house then, Sally? Anything else to say on membership? Just to say to David, everybody's a member of the trusts and planning and highways, unless you deliberately want to opt out.
No, fine.
We're okay for outside body membership, aren't we, as well? Thank you. Item 14 then, that's the calendar of meetings for 21-22. Anything to say on that, Sally?
No, I think that's self-explanatory.
Thank you. I've put those in my diary. So can we approve those, please? Can I propose that we approve those? Seconder, thank you, Peter. All in favour? Thank you. Of course, this can be amended as we go along, depending upon circumstances. Item 13, that was a licence application, which I believe was for the premises formerly known as Deacons for an alcohol licence. We've already given planning permission for the changes there. Anyway, it's gone past its due date, hasn't it? Anything to say on that, Sally?
No, it has passed the date, unfortunately. But if any members have got any strong opinions, I can forward them.
Thank you. Item 16, to note an update on COVID and the procedures that the Town Council is implementing at the moment. Anything to add on that, Sally?
No, nothing to add. If anyone's got any questions, obviously I've briefly outlined what's going on, but if anyone's got any further questions.
And Sally has made an offer to the health centre for them to use the Corn Exchange for vaccinations, but we haven't had any reply yet, have we?
No, I just said that the Corn Exchange was empty, and if they'd like me to call a meeting for council to discuss it, then we could. But obviously they are using the industrial unit behind the Esso at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 17 then, which is items for information only, and that's to bring to your attention things that have been circulated. You probably remember these empty shop ideas for table tennis tables. I think that must be in abeyance until COVID's sorted out, but that seems to be a good idea. Obviously needs supervision and obviously the agreement of the owners for that, but I thought that was an interesting suggestion. Please look at all OALC training opportunities and let the clerk know if you would like to attend, and Sally's made a full list of those. There's an invitation to a stakeholder workshop on the forthcoming Oxfordshire electric vehicle infrastructure strategy, and this is about charging. And there are two meetings which you can see there on Thursday 21st of January and Monday the 25th of January, and it says they would like 1 or 2 members of the council to attend, numbers being limited. Is anybody wanting to attend? I'll certainly put my name forward. Is anybody else interested in electric vehicle charging? Peter? Thank you. Kim? Was that an interest?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I've got a hybrid car.
Ah. So that's 3 of us at the moment. So who's so Councillor Swallow? That's 4 people. Is that anybody else? Anybody absolutely desperate to go to learn about this? Liz, do you want?
Somebody before
The dog,
recess.
apparently.
Liz, do you want to take part in this? Yes.
Oh, only if no one else will.
Yeah. So
Mike, I can check and see if they'll allow 4 to attend,
okay.
and then we can decide via email.
Okay, we'll do that, shall we? Thank you for your interest in that, because I think that's going to be important for us for the future. Okay, if we do that then. Next is applications for Tesco bags of help. That's been undersubscribed in Farringdon, and if you know of any groups who would like to apply for that, please let Sally know. That's for the, is that the blue tokens that they put in the shop, Sally?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. We've usually done quite well on that, so yeah, please let me know. I presume, is there a time limit on when you can go in again?
I don't think there is, no. I think it's a rolling programme, and I think you can put yourself forward again. It's whether you get chosen if you're a regular. Right.
So I mean, the usual suspects like the Place and Farcicles and people like that, they could put forward again. But please tell people if that were the case. Next is Gateway. To Farringdon, Marcy has received agreement that Builders Eid will replace the gateway, but they want designs. Sally and I were talking about this earlier. I think the Bloor want to move the gateway, which is next to their site. Builders Eid were responsible for taking it down in the first place. It would be nice if both parts of the gateway were opposite each other, but we were debating where this could be on Park Road, as the opportunity for locating it on the Folly Park side is quite limited. But at least we've had an offer from Eid to replace the gateway, but we need to discuss this again. Perhaps this can come up at Planning and Highways. It would be nice if it were the gateway to the town. Anything else to say on that, Sally?
Sorry. No, I don't think so. I think that needs to be fully discussed at Planning and Highways. Marzia has put some questions to some officers, and hopefully she'll have more information when you meet for Planning and Highways.
Yeah. Next was the community awards. Oh, is that the Community College Awards, Sally? Sorry. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, the ones that I circulated around you. Yeah. I
circulated those. They sent me those directly. Normally they have an awards meeting at the in end of December, but they would hope, because of COVID, it's not been possible. So you've seen the letter, and the young people who've been awards, and of course we provide an award, and Judith also provides an award for that. We provide the award for politics. Volunteers to Marshall COVID Vaccination Centre wanted. David, you've volunteered for this. Anything to say? Well, how did you go about it?
Well, I know Callum Skeet, the guy who's organising it. So I just I texted him because I had his number anyway. So he is collecting volunteers. Names at the moment, so if anybody fancies doing it, give him a call, and then he'll there's a rota of morning shifts and afternoon shifts, which is he's filling up quite rapidly. So the more people there are, the less onerous it will be, and then he'll send you details regarding what will actually happen.
Thank you. Do you think we can publicise that, Sally?
Yeah, I'm sure we can on our website and Facebook.
Jane.
Both Jane and Bethia have their hands up.
Jane?
Right, I'm going back to the gateway. I had my hand up then.
Oh, sorry.
I was ignored. So, I think we can only put one half of the gateway up along Park Road, because there is nowhere along there we can put it on both sides opposite each other. The suggestion is that we use the thing for Builders Eid to put a gateway either up on the Coxwell Road or Radcott Road or both, because they haven't got them.
Right. I presume that's something.
And the reason it was pushed through to town council is because not enough people turned up at planning for it to be a proper discussion on it.
No.
And as it's a town problem, then there should be more people to make the decision.
We can put it on the agenda again. It's not desperately urgent, is it?
No.
Thank you. Anybody else? Bethia. You're on mute, Bethia.
Going back to volunteers, I've heard that actually they're getting oversubscribed, and we probably don't need to publicise it as yet. I'm in communication with the practice, and I think it's sort of at capacity already because there's so many people wanting to help. So I'm not sure if we need to advertise it.
Thank you. That's useful information. Thanks, Bethia. And the last item on there is that the survey closed. We had 270 responses to be analysed and presented at the Strategic Working Party and the next full council meeting. That was the sorry, Sally, can you just explain that one to us?
Yeah, that was the community survey, which focused on the town centre and how people felt about traffic changes, and also what they would like SIL and S106 money spent on. So I'm sure Bethia and David will be interested in the outcomes of that, and also that will obviously inform the list that we make. And there was also lots of things about changing the bus lane, and so we're really pleased. 270 responses is the biggest response we've ever had.
Okay. Any other items for information anybody has before we move on? Okay, item 18 then is correspondence, and that's to note for information only the list of correspondence that we've received from the 3rd of December up to and including the 8th of December. Okay. Any questions on those? Thank you. Item 19 then, to suggest agenda items for the next meeting, which will be held on the 10th of February. Any suggestions? You do it nearer the date.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for attending, and close the meeting. Thank you.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Many thanks. That's a very speedy meeting.
Good night, all.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Right.
Bye.
Got a phone call from New Zealand. Oh.
Hello.
Right. It's all right. I'm just closing the council meeting. Just talking to.
Oh.
It's all right.
I'll come back to you.
No, it's all right. I'm shutting it down now.